Walk through almost any neighborhood in Japan, and you'll notice something that just doesn't match what we've been taught about aging. An 85-year-old easily climbing a full flight of stairs. A 93-year-old heading to the market with a steady gait and upright posture. An elder well into their 100s who has never used a walker. Now compare that with the reality in much of the Western world, where nearly half of adults over 75 rely on mobility aids just to move around their own homes. Most people assume the difference must be genetics, but the truth is far more empowering. It's not genes, it's habits. Japan has preserved simple, powerful daily rituals that keep older adults stable, mobile, and confident, the very habits that have quietly faded from modern Western life. These aren't senior workouts. They aren't trendy exercises, complicated routines, or long gym sessions. These are small, natural movements woven into everyday life, backed by decades of research, that keep joints healthy, muscles strong, and balance sharp, even into the 80s, 90s, and beyond. And today, you're going to learn these 5 life-changing habits and why they work so effortlessly. Before we dive in, tell me your name and where you're watching from. I read every single comment. Habit 1. The 15-minute morning ritual, a full-body neurological reset. Most people think morning stiffness is just an unavoidable part of getting older. You wake up feeling tight. Your spine doesn't want to move. Your energy feels low. So you shuffle into the kitchen, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and wait for your body to warm up. But here's the surprising truth. That stiffness doesn't fade. It builds. Every morning you go straight from bed to sitting. Your joint fluid thickens, stabilizer muscles stay dormant, nervous system stays half asleep. Over time, the body stops responding the way it used to. You stop getting down to the floor. You avoid certain movements. You lose trust in your balance. Japanese elders handle mornings completely differently. Since 1928, they've practiced a simple routine known as radio Taiso, not to burn calories, but to wake up the body's entire movement system. It gently reactivates the spine, hips, shoulders, ankles, and deep stabilizer muscles within minutes of waking. A study from Tokyo Metropolitan University found that older adults who performed daily morning movements reported 37% less stiffness and significantly better mobility throughout the entire day. The best part? You don't need a class, a broadcast, or a sunrise meetup. You can do a simple version in your pajamas in under 5 minutes. You don't need to work out. You just need to remind your body that today, it's time to move. Ask yourself, when was the last time you woke up and actually felt ready to move? Habit 2. The floor transition. The hidden strength test. Now here's a tough question. If you fell right now, could you get up without help? Most adults over 65 can't, and not because they're weak, but because modern life has removed the one movement that naturally builds lifelong strength, getting up from the floor. In Japan, this movement is built into daily life. Low dining tables, floor cushions, tea ceremonies, futon bedding. They get up and down from the floor dozens of times a day, without thinking about it. And that repetition trains a deep neurological sequence involving the hips, glutes, core, quads, and ankle stabilizers. It's the ultimate fall recovery reflex. A Brazilian study in 2012 showed that adults who could rise from the floor without using their hands had an 83% lower mortality rate over 6 years. Not because the movement is magic, but because it reveals how well your brain and body work together when life gets unpredictable. In the West, high chairs, elevated beds, and tall toilets have erased this challenge. And with it, the strength that protects independence. This habit isn't about furniture. It's about reclaiming the resilience your body is capable of. And before we go to the next habit, if you're finding this insight helpful, if you're new here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Now let's talk about walking, but in a way you've probably never heard before. Habit 3. The Japanese walking pattern. Why every step matters. We've all heard the advice, just walk more. But what if the way you walk matters much more than the number of steps? Most Western walkers take long strides and slam the heel into the ground. Biomechanically, that sends shock waves up the ankles, knees, hips, and lower back, thousands of times a day. Stanford researchers found that heel striking generates 2 to 3 times your body weight in force with each step. Now multiply that by 8,000 steps. Japanese elders walk differently, shorter, quieter steps. Foot lands with the midfoot, not the heel. Upright posture, gentle core engagement. This style CTS joints, distributes pressure, and keeps stabilizer muscles awake. Why? Historically, Japanese wooden sandals forced midfoot walking, and the habit stayed. Modern research shows this walking pattern reduces joint impact by 32%, activates 47% more stabilizer muscles, improves balance without extra effort. And here's the twist most people never consider. Many Westerners walk poorly because their shoes train their feet out of natural movement. Thick soles, heavy cushioning, elevated heels. All of these shut off the foot's natural sensors, the ones your balance depends on. Japanese walking isn't about style, it's about intelligent movement. So the next time you walk, ask yourself, are you pounding the ground or moving with purpose? Coming up next, the secret mobility advantage hidden inside every Japanese home. Habit 4. Hip mobility by design. Why their homes keep them moving. You can lose up to 40% of your hip mobility without even realizing it, because it fades slowly, quietly, and without pain, until suddenly, squatting is hard, tying your shoes feels awkward, standing on one leg becomes shaky, walking long distances hurts your back or knees. Doctors call this adaptive shortening when your muscles reshape around the positions you spend the most time in. And in the West, everything is designed around the 90-degree sitting position. Chair at breakfast, seat in the car, couch in the evening, bed at night, repeat for decades, and the hips lose the ability to rotate, flex, and stabilize. In Japan, that doesn't happen, because their environment requires hip mobility. Floor sitting opens the hips. The Seiza kneeling position challenges ankles and knees. Futons require a deep squat transition every morning and night. These aren't exercises. They're mobility rituals disguised as daily living. A Japanese Orthopedic Association study found that elders with full hip mobility had an 89% lower chance of needing a walker after age 80. Not because they stretched, but because their homes kept them moving. Ask yourself, has your furniture made life easier or quietly made you weaker? We still have one final habit, and it may be the most misunderstood key to lifelong balance. Habit 5. Environmental balance training. The home that teaches stability. In the West, balance training is something people start after they fall. In Japan, it's built into daily life, long before balance becomes an issue. And the secret isn't fancy equipment, it's the environment. Japanese homes have the genkin, the raised entry where you remove your shoes. This single area creates a daily balancing ritual. Step up, step down, shift weight, stand on one leg, twist to reach for slippers, all without noticing. It's automatic balance training for the brain. Western environments, on the other hand, are designed for total predictability. Flat floors, even terrain railings everywhere. Bright lighting. It feels safer in the short term, but starves the brain of the variability it needs to stay sharp. A Kyoto University study found that elders who regularly moved across uneven terrain had a 43% better balance recovery reflex when they stumbled, because their brains stayed trained every day. Balance isn't lost because you age. It's lost because your environment stops challenging you. And the amazing thing is, you can rebuild it with small daily habits. Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth, walk across grass, gravel, or sand. Close your eyes for 10 seconds while washing dishes. Your brain adapts quickly when you give it a reason to. Practical steps to get started, from a specialist's perspective. Feeling inspired but not sure where to begin? Start here. If mornings feel stiff, do the morning movement ritual. If the floor feels intimidating, practice floor transitions with support. If walking hurts your knees, focus on your walking mechanics. If your back or knees ache, your hips are probably tight, start with hip mobility. If quick turns make you feel unsteady, use environmental balance challenges. You don't need all 5 habits at once. Pick one, practice it for 14 days. And notice the difference. Aging doesn't mean slowing down. It means moving smarter and reclaiming the habits that kept generations strong. Japanese elders aren't aging better because of magic genetics. They simply never stopped. Moving with intention, getting off the floor, walking with awareness, protecting their hip mobility, challenging their balance. Now it's your turn. Before we close, also follow us on Facebook for daily updates and behind-the-scenes tips. And finally, stay with us till the end. The last part is always a game changer. You'll love what's coming up in the final part. Trust me, the ending will surprise you, so don't miss it. Thank you for watching. Your journey to strength, balance, and independence is just beginning.